It's 2004, so my husband decides we are moving to Lake Forest from Evanston because he wants a driveway and because he is in a blind rage that my neighbors took down his Bush Cheney signs. He buys a house without even telling me. He, not we. He says we close on the 15th. Now I'm in a blind rage. After 13 years of being dry, I get drunk. I am horrified at the prospect of Lake Forest. I grew up in Lake Forest in the 70s. It used to be okay, but that was the 70s. There wasn't this nouveau wealth. There was a middle class. Now Lake Forest is filled with the master race, imports from Lincoln Park. The women look bulimic, thin, prancing around in Lululemon, long blonde hair, and skinny lattes. The men are all Chad and Tad and have a firm handshake. They have Tom Cruise good looks and say things like, "Great to see ya. We're looking for a fourth for paddle." So I'm to bring my smart, adorable 6-year-old daughter with cerebral palsy, she has difficulty walking, who shows empathy and compassion for anyone with differences, to the land of the entitled. Lelia also has these terrible meltdowns that look like it's a terrorist attack. We don't understand them. We are often on high alert with my daughter because we never know what sets the meltdowns off. What's gonna happen when one of these hit? I'm scared and outraged. I'm scared that she'll stick out in Lake Forest, and I'm still pissed at my husband because he bought a fucking house, a Georgian with a 3-car garage, and he got his fucking driveway. Jim, we can't move. You always make all the decisions. This decision is mine. It will be so hard for her. Don't worry, we grew up here. She'll fit in. That's the most absurd thing anyone could say. I grew up here and I'm not going to fit in either. I'm a fat radical and I took down some of the Bush Cheney signs myself. So we get to the public school. It's a disaster. Obviously, she also felt upset being there, as she'd whap kids with her hot pink crutches in the hall. We'd get the calls. "We don't want to alarm you, Mrs. Perky, but Lelia has to learn to use her crutches in a more constructive way. Now we want you to know that the district wants to extend their appreciation for her differences. Have a nice day." We realized quite quickly this is not helping our chances for a play date. You gotta have play dates. Kids everywhere have play dates. It's ridiculous to think we could have one, but I have to try. So at the end of the year, with a week left of school, I score a play date. I realized Lelia didn't really care. This was more important to me than her. I forced myself on a J. Crew model mom, Dinty McHugh, whose kid Tad was in her class. Dinty had smiled at me a bunch of times. The others ignored me. I was in the pickup line at school and I decided to risk it. Would Tad like to have a play date? This is the 10th mom I'd actually asked. One actually said, "It's not a good time. I'm getting waxed." So Dinty actually said yes. "Oh, sure, Tad would love to have a play date." Oh, fuck, I thought. What did I do? What if she does something? Maybe she could just go. We go to her house, which is a Nantucket style, on a big lot with a pool. We walk in and her 3 boys in tennis whites with a chocolate lab trailing behind greet us. Tad says, Lelia, so glad you're here. These are my brothers, Tim and Troy." They were tanned, blonde hair, and gleaming teeth. Lelia stood behind me, rigid, in her hot pink crutches, growling. Oh God, that feeling of impending doom is coming on. I started my pretend. I'm going to pretend we're fine. I fucking pray she's not going to hit one of those kids with her hot pink crutches. I say to the mom, we're thrilled to be here. Dinty's glowing. Toasted blonde hair, tanned lightly, nautical clothing. She is sticking a glass of Chardonnay in my face. Welcome. I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. You know, I didn't know you had wine at playdates. I heard you usually have coffee, but secretly I was hoping she'd get smashed. So if Lelia hit one of the kids with her crutch, I could say, I don't think it went down that way. You were drunk. We're there 5 minutes and she says, Buzz is taking a later train. You're welcome to join us for supper. Light fare, sloppy joes and crudité. Come on in. That would be a fantasy, but it's my kid. We all go into her family room. It's enormous, casually chic. Navy beanbag chairs and a big white couch. Huge bay windows looking out on the pool. There is gear everywhere. Tennis rackets, badminton rackets, mitts, gloves, and biking helmets. And you know my kid barely walks. Lilia's moved into one corner of the room facing the wall. She is still growling. Tim, Troy, and Tad are sitting on the couch in their tennis whites, tackling each other and laughing. Tad says, Lelia, would you like to see my hermit crab? Lelia growls. Oh great, they're bringing an insect into it. So we're sitting at the counter and Dinty gushes, I love this community. You know, it's all about families. You can bond over so much. Tennis, sailing, cocktails, and good old-fashioned chit-chat. That's true. So many opportunities for fun. I overhear Tad say, Lelia, I brought the hermit crab down. His name is Hank. He wants to get to know you. I love the bluffs here. The trees, the shoreline, the easy way we all get along, Dinty gushes. All of a sudden, there is a loud crashing noise. I turn around. Lilia's obviously whacked the cage, and there's crab shit everywhere. The thing is laying on its back on the carpet. The boys are stunned. Lelia! The younger boy, the 4-year-old Tad, starts wailing. Shit. Just when we were blending in with the nautical family with the promise of crudité, here we are again. Unbelievably different. Weird. Not fit for easy chit-chat. Not fit for just a goddamn playdate. Dinty springs into action. She takes a big gulp of wine. No worries. Troy, Tim, help Tad. No worries at all. We didn't have snack. A snack cheers things up. I'm not going to say anything to her, but feeding her doesn't help. Lelia, sweetie, I have goldfish and juice. Lelia started to wail. She's stomping crab shit into the carpet. I plaster a big smile on and say what I often always say. She's just not herself. I pick the hermit crab up and place it on the Formica counter. Dinty beams. No worries at all, she says again. I'm bagging you, little lady, some goldfish and juice and making your mommy a roadie of Chardonnay. I don't have the energy to tell her I don't drink. She goes to get the snack and the wine. Troy, the kid in Lilia's class, comes up to her. Thanks for coming, Lelia. Can I give you a hug? And Lelia stops crying, walks over with her hot pink crutches, and they hug. Thank you.